Hello and welcome everybody to the Mint Poker Chip Review. We're going to discuss some of the ins and outs and different things about these lovely poker chips. But first, by way of introduction, you guys know I'm very sensitive to feel and touch. One of the reasons why, and I'm just explaining it real quick, are because of things like this. Do you guys know what this is? Somebody out there is like, I know what that is, and good for you, I think. This is a brake light switch off of a 2008 Toyota Camry. This thing was malfunctioning. So when you depress your brake lights are supposed to come on. My brake lights were not coming on, which also means I can't get my car out of park. Now, our 2008's our oldest car, and we use it for transport for the little puke monster, right? There's just, it stinks in there, okay? So it's a transport, okay? So the brake light, switch needed to be replaced, and the dealer wanted something outrageous. I forget what it was. It sounded like 460. It might have been like 260, but it sounded like some absurd number that I was like, really, for a stupid little $20 part, you want that much? And so anyway, I just bought this, and I was like, oh, I'll just throw it in. So you have to hurt locker your way through the airbags, right? They're just like explosives. You're like, oh my gosh, please don't blow up. And then you finally get through, and I'm like, all right, I'll be able to replace the switch. No. There was this huge fuse box in the way, so I had to rip that out, right? So I had to take all the bolts out, I had to unclip it, I had to take all the harnesses out, and then I could finally get through to this. And of course it was blind, so I could barely get my left hand through this tiny little space, and then I had to pull this switch. And thankfully, like I said, I'm very tactile. Thankfully, it's easy. It was easy to do. I literally just you rotate it like a third of a turn, counterclockwise, pull it out, unplug it, grab the new one, plug that new one in, slide this in, make sure it's connecting with the top of that brake pedal, and then rotate through, and it worked the first time. After I put everything back together, it's always kind of, nerve-wracking to do that. So it took me 2 hours to get through the dashboard. It took me 30 seconds to replace the switch and an hour to put everything back in, right? So it was a 3-hour job. I'm sleep deprived. So if I'm a little bit loopy, what am I talking about? I'm normally loopy, right? So we'll just move on then. Here's the Mint poker chips. So I'm very sensitive to feel, and I am aware of that, and that's my bias. So now you guys are aware of that. If you know yourself and you know you're not biased towards feel, some of the things I'm going to say don't apply to you. And you're intelligent individual human beings. You guys can figure that out for yourself. Now, the Mint. Okay, these are made by Claysmith. There's a metal insert in here. It's an ABS chip, and the quality control, I'll go ahead and just throw the numbers up there. They are pretty good. I'm actually really impressed with the quality control coming out of Claysmith these days. The first thing, and everybody's waiting for this that follows my channel, he's going to complain about the flashing on the edges, and today's no difference. Let me roll in a picture. You guys can see clearly there's still some flashing. The one nice thing, though, about this setup is that they did kind of machine this side down. Oh, look, there's a little fruit fly right here on my hand. I don't know if you guys saw that. They machined this side down so it's kind of beveled. So unlike some of the older ones that they had, like these are some Poker Nights, they still might make them like this. But see how these are just on the edge right here? And so you have the sharp corner right here with the sharp edge on the corner. So you don't have that sharp corner, and the flashing is kind of more towards the center, but it's still noticeable and it still bothers me. It's not perfect. Quality control overall, though, seems to be improving. The depth of the stamping, they have, the nice little zigzag digital cog pattern right here. It looks like a digital wave. That's why I say that. I thought digital as soon as I saw it with the up and down. Running at 60 hertz, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's like your electrical engineering classes in college. So now let me spread these out here so you can see the different denominations. So quality control then is, like I said, improving. We're going to look at inlays here. The quality control on the inlays is actually really good as well. So I'm not sure if I'm just seeing an improvement here of all Chinese-made poker chips over time, which I suspect could easily be the case, or if this particular chipset has just always been better. Leave comments. Tell me what you think. With quality control, though, we're looking at all the inlays. Their sticker inlays are placed correctly in the center of the chip. None of them are overlapping the edge of the chip. I haven't seen any really egregious mistakes. In fact, I don't think I've seen any mistakes on these inlays. It's a really solidly produced chip. The edge spots all look good. We already discussed the edges. I mean, quality control on these is above average for the price point. I'm thinking about some other chips that I've had problems with. For example, let's roll some in here. The Ace Casino chips are, all the problems I said about the edges are just amplified slightly with these. They're not, here's some more. I got tons of these things. They're not very consistent, these Ace Casino. Again, these are older. I wonder if the newer production ones would have higher quality control standards. Quality control above average. Now we talk about design. Now this is where these really shine. And for me, that's not going to outweigh the feel of the chip. And we're going to revisit automotive work again, okay? Like for me, I need a nice set of combo wrenches, okay? These are some proto, made in the USA wrenches, okay? If I'm going to be working with something for hours, now don't just roll your eyes and be like, he's sleep deprived, he's loopy. What's he talking about? No, this applies directly to poker chips. If you're going to be playing with these for hours every week, okay, and you're sensitive and you have sensitive fingers, you're very tactile like I am, and you're going to be playing with these for hours every week, and those sharp corners will wear on you. You'll just be like, and for some people it's sound. For some people, the sound of a chip. If you're going to be sitting listening to a poker chip, this comes back to a comment I had on my channel. By the way, I encourage you to leave comments, and I really like other people's perspectives because it helps me understand the audience and what other people see. Somebody wrote, like, yeah, I can't stand the sound of chips after hours of play. It just hurts my ears. And I was like, oh, wow, that never occurred to me. Some people might have sensitive ears, audiophiles, right? And so all of a sudden I was like, wow, that's an interesting perspective. So the same thing for me, for feel. If I'm feeling a poker chip for hours, if I'm working on a car for hours, I need something that's not going to hurt my hands, something that's lightweight. This is a reverse ratcheting, lovely, combo wrench, and I have a set of these. And so with these, when you're talking about design, for some people, the looks of them are the same way. Why would you spend money? Like if you guys remember, I compared this color to all sorts of things. I hated the coloration on the Poker Nights. And they're made by the same company, right? But I mean, they want to give you a variety of poker chips, and I think they did a good job. So you can see like the coloration on the Poker Nights, that's these two right here, compared to the mint coloration. Very different, to a point of I could see people really not liking certain poker chips. And this is just an example. I'm not saying this is the end all worst poker chip design ever, but it's just a comparison here. Some people might really love these and really hate these. And if you're looking at them for hours every week on a weekend, on your day off, why not get something that looks great? And this is where most of my friends stand. I'm trying to think of any that don't agree with this. So I'm going to come out and say I might be wrong, but I think all my friends, because they all rag on me for this all the time, they all prefer looks trump feel of the little edge things. And some of them can't even feel it. They're like, I can't even tell what you're talking about. I don't even care. And so to them, it's looks. And they love the looks of these mint chips. The mint, right? All right, there you go. You're going to be looking at these for hours on your holiday, on your weekend. So why not get something you like to look at? And if that's number one on your list, absolutely. I respect that. And the nice thing about this is a very affordable chip. We'll talk about that here in competitive options. But let's step through the design here real quick. We talked some big picture things here. Now let's talk about details. If you look, you can see there, at first it doesn't really look like there's much of a progression. They all have this chrysanthemum flower, thing. But then you realize, oh, look, they're different colors. So they have the complementary color. In this case, the complementary color, I'm talking about edge spots base color, okay? So the base color is a circle around the inner circle here, and then the secondary color is the outside circle. So with the 5, you can see it's kind of a reddish orange right here. It fades a little bit right here, so you get a little gradient right here. And then your base color, red, and then your secondary color is the green, like on the edge spot right here, green. Wow, so they do progress as far as color. So the 1, the 5, and then the 25, again, you have that green inner circle and the red outer circle. Very well done, very well thought out, very clean. There is this harmony that runs across this set. So you understand clearly, like I love the black. I love this orange rim right here. Yeah, it's not exactly yellow, but it's a great looking chip. So design is really starting to look good. The nice, what I call the digital wave pattern right around here, is also very fitting with the bright colored edge spots right here. And I used to know a name for something like that. I can't remember what the triangle and the little line here. To me, it's a festive. I always call it the festive edge spot pattern. So overall, what's to complain about as far as design? I guess the only thing, and this is really stretching, if like you pushed me, like you have to find something wrong with it because you always want to provide an unbiased view. I guess I would like to see more than a color progression in the edge spots. Not the edge spots, in the inlays. I would like to see some interesting progression, whether it be a larger inlay or something. But again, we're just talking about adding cost for no good reason. So, I mean, that's not really a negative. That's just me conjuring up something so I can, provide some balance here to the argument. But overall, I love the design of these. They're very clean. And notice something else I need to mention. It doesn't say the mint anywhere on the chip. It's just a clean, you have your number right here with cents. And for those of you in Europe, remember, unfortunately, these are the dollar signs right here. So I know lots of places use dollar, so it's not a big deal. But like in the Eurozone, England, unfortunately, they did limit their markets with that denomination. So you can see the different denominations here. They have, 50 cent. I think there's a 25 cent piece somewhere. Oh yeah, right here. So you have your options right there. Design very clean, above average, easily above average for the price point. Compared to some of the higher end chips, like maybe discontinued chips, maybe not quite up to that level. Now we're going to talk about materials. Now this comes back to the tactile feel again. He's like, oh, he's just going to beat this dead horse. The ABS chip, okay? ABS is a good material. It's rock solid. I've talked about hopefully not too much about the nitrogen, triple nitrogen bonding, the chemistry behind the ABS plastic. It's a really solid material. There's a reason why they use it for like drainage pipes. So in case some solvents get down there, it's not going to eat through your pipe. And it's a solid plastic with a metal insert. These things are indestructible. I always try to break these things online in front of the camera here. And this one, these are not even budging, not even worth my time. It is a metal insert. You saw on the weight how much they weigh. It rocks. I mean, these things, as long as the inlays stay in, so as long as you're not soaking them in water or solvents or scratching them out with a knife like I do on some of mine, you'll be fine. The inlays appear to be plastic, so they don't appear to have, like, for example, the Monte Carlos that I reviewed. If you go back and watch that video, there was a little paper embossed, like the shiny gold ring around the outside of the sticker inlay was just embossed onto paper. And so you had some of that scratching off, and then you had that paper that had the potential to come off. These are actually a plastic sticker. So again, it's going to be a very enduring set. Just don't leave them in heat. Don't leave them in the sun. They'll be great. And finally, along with that durability, like I said, they're very durable. They'll last you a lifetime. A good little set here. And now it comes time for competitive options and sound checking. We will first do the competitive options. So some of the least expensive chips you can buy are these dice chips. If you're not looking for denominations, my thoughts, I would discourage you from buying these because there are no denominations. You're going to get that drunk guy every day who's like, or every weekend or whenever you play, who's like, I don't know, how much is the red one worth again? Every 10 minutes. And you're just going to be like, shut up. So you spend a little bit of extra money. At the time of the making of this video, September 2016, did I say that right? September 2016. Yeah, I'm right. These chips are selling for about 15 cents a chip, which is very inexpensive. I think you can get a set of 300 for like 40 or 50 bucks after shipping, right around the $50 range. So very affordable for a set of 300. 500 obviously is going to increase the cost there, but so it's maybe, I know still, it's September 2016, you can buy a set of 300 of these at Walmart for like $26. So you're going to be paying about twice as much for these as you would for this. Is it worth it? Yes, absolutely. In my opinion, everybody's different. Same thing, Las Vegas, Nevada chips. These chips that I bought from Amazon, actually, I'm very happy with. They didn't have terrible quality control. Another chip that I have kicking around here, let's see if I can find some, are these is it the Del Sol? Yeah, the Del Sol poker chips right here had some pretty good edges as well. And like I said, I'm kind of a snob when it comes to the feel of a chip. So you might want to look at these. I think these are just butt ugly though. They feel good, and that's what's important to me. But a lot of people may not care too much for the look of those. I know I'm not a huge fan of the way those look. Now, we're going to do okay, no, I didn't finish competitive options. So those are the ones that are about the same price range. And then, here's the 1000. This was kicking around out there. Sorry about that. I should have shown that with the rest of them. Kind of an uglier yellow. You see, that might be the most negative thing I can say about it. The color is kind of, I don't know about that color. So moving up a little bit, a few cents more per chip, you're moving into, maybe more than a few cents, but you're moving into what I call the NexGen material. So these are some Dunes poker chips from Apache Poker Chips. They have nice square edges. They're super smooth, so there's no flashing that's going to cut into your finger. They will stand on end if you're into those kind of tricks and stuff. They have other ones like Pioneer Club here, and then obviously move into China Clay. Milanos, again, smooth, wonderful, beveled edges. These are just such a lovely chip. Other options in China Clay, Majestics. There'll be a couple out there. Like, here's another one, the CPS Championship Poker Series. Watch out for stock on these. I'm not sure, how the stock works on these, but they're hard to find sometimes in certain denominations. And of course, moving up beyond that, kind of in the same price range as these, you can get some ceramics. Here's some scroll ceramics, hard plastic, and none of these three right here have metal inserts. So you can look up like Dunes or Pioneer Club or Milano, or I should say NexGen ProGen. Like here's a NexGen ProGen right here. So these are all a solid material, nice square edges, smooth. Yeah, look at those. China Clays, Milano, Majestic, you can look up. And then scroll ceramics, you can get these almost anywhere. Scrolls are actually a nice ceramic for the price. Now, when you move in, this is what I call middle class. So I always think of it like an airliner, right? You have your economy coach class chips, anywhere from like these, and you could flex the NexGen material into that as well. They are pretty affordable. And then you move over the $100 for a set of 300 range, and that's where you hit the scroll ceramics, the China Clays, the Milanos, the Majestics, CPS. And so these are kind of the middle class, business class, if you like. And then finally, we move into the first class chips. First class chips are hard to find in 2016. The World, Top Hat and Cane, Paulson, Top Hat and Cane as I call them, chips are discontinued. All right, so we get rid of those. You can get some BR Pro Poker made to order chips, such as the Tiki Kings, which are a lovely ceramic set, one of my favorites. Then you have some others like the Key West, ASM. I think now they're classic poker chips. Those are pretty expensive, not necessarily the best chips in the world, but they are expensive. And then we're moving into that realm right there. So if you're interested in some ceramics, go to BR Pro Poker, check out their made to order line. Remember, it's going to take a few weeks for you to get your chips because they have to make them to order. That's one of the interesting things about these chips is they just make them for you. And finally, I'd just like to say you also want to consider accessories. Like recently, I've been getting lots of questions about plaques. So if you go with a brand like Majestic, you can buy matching plaques at Apache Poker Chips. That's one of my favorite places to buy poker chips. They have great customer service and a really rock solid selection of quality chips. I believe they also sell the mint there too. And other ceramics, like for example, Nevada Jack is another full line of wonderful chips. So you get some Nevada Jack chips, you can actually get matching plaques. Beautiful, beautiful sets. So that's one more thing to consider if you want to spend a lot of money on chips, but I don't know why. Yeah, these are more of an economy chip, so maybe those would be out of the question. But things to look at. Me personally, if I were looking to spend as little as possible on poker chips, I would definitely do a couple of things. I would get a little sample set or a little stack of scroll ceramics, just so you can tell the difference between a ceramic and an ABS chip. And then I would also get a NexGen material chip, right? So get a sample set or a small stack of 25, and then get a sample set of the mint. And this will give you a good idea of the differences. And there is actually a difference. It'll let you know about, you can judge and tell me if I'm crazy or not about my sensitivity to flashing on the edge of your chip, because these other two won't have it. And then remember what I said about some people having sensitive ears? It'll also give you that information about how they sound and feel and the weight of them. And I'm over time, so I'm going to plow through a really quick sound test here. And these are the same, so I'm just going to run those. All right, and we're going to throw in some real casino chips just so you can tell what real casino chips sound like. All right, here we go. Those are not the chips I'm reviewing. Help me out here, everybody. Man, a little sleep deprivation goes a long way here. Here we go. And finally, the NexGen material. All right, I hope that helps somebody out there. You guys are great. Thank you guys so much for watching and your support. The Mint Poker Chips by Clay Smith. Lovely set. If you're interested, go buy some.